April 28, 1988, a beautiful day in paradise. Aloha Airlines Flight 243, a Boeing 737, was cruising at 24,000 feet. It was a routine flight from Hilo to Honolulu, full of vacationers and locals. Little did they know, they were about to become part of aviation history, but not the good kind. Suddenly, a deafening roar ripped through the cabin. The plane shook violently. Passengers were thrown from their seats. Oxygen masks dropped, dangling uselessly. Up in the cockpit, Captain Robert Schornsteimer and First Officer Madeline Mimi Tompkins fought to control the aircraft. Something was terribly wrong. Then they saw it. A gaping hole stretched across the ceiling, exposing the blue Hawaiian sky. A large section of the fuselage, 18 feet long, was gone. The plane had suffered an explosive decompression. Flight 243 was now an aluminum tube hurtling through the air, held together by a prayer. Imagine this. You're sipping your coffee at 24,000 feet looking forward to landing. Then, bam! The roof disappears. That's what happened to the passengers of Flight 243. The sudden decompression was like a bomb going off. Papers, luggage, and even people were sucked out of the plane. One flight attendant, Clarabelle C.B. Lansing, was standing near the fifth row when the decompression hit. She was ripped from her position and vanished into the sky. Her body was never recovered. 8 other passengers were seriously injured, battered by debris and the force of the wind. The noise was deafening, the wind ferocious. Passengers clung to their seats, their clothes flapping wildly. The temperature plummeted, the air thin and icy. Many thought these were their final moments. Panic was setting in, but amidst the chaos, the pilots were fighting for their lives, and the lives of everyone on board. Up in the cockpit, Captain Schornsteimer and First Officer Tompkins faced a nightmare scenario. They had a fraction of a second to react. The roar of the wind was deafening, making communication nearly impossible. Instruments flickered erratically. They struggled to maintain control of the crippled aircraft. Schornsteimer, a veteran pilot with over 30 years of experience, knew they had to get the plane down fast. He focused on keeping the aircraft stable while Tompkins began emergency procedures. They couldn't communicate with air traffic control. The noise was too loud. They were alone, facing a crisis unlike any they had trained for. Tompkins, with incredible composure, managed to contact the Kahului airport on Maui, declaring an emergency. They were losing altitude rapidly, the wind screaming through the shattered fuselage. It was a desperate fight against time and the elements, but they were determined to bring their passengers home. The descent was terrifying. The plane was shaking violently. Passengers held on, some praying. Pilots wrestled with the controls. They spotted the runway at Kahului Airport. Fire trucks and ambulances were standing by. Schornsteimer guided the aircraft onto the runway. A wave of relief washed over the survivors. They had cheated death. The investigation into Flight 243 was exhaustive. The NTSB spent months piecing together the evidence. What they found was shocking, and a wake-up call for the aviation industry. The culprit was metal fatigue, exacerbated by corrosion and inadequate maintenance. The plane's age, environment, and frequent flights weakened the fuselage. The NTSB found fault with Aloha Airlines' maintenance program. The incident led to changes in aircraft design, inspection protocols, and maintenance practices. The story of Flight 243 is a reminder of the importance of safety and vigilance in aviation.